Title: Cristiano Ronaldo versus Nike, the billion-dollar negotiation that almost went wrong. Imagine this: the world's most famous footballer, Cristiano Ronaldo, and the world's biggest sports brand Nike, on the verge of a massive breakup. How did we get here? What could make CR7, the man who practically lives in Nike gear, rethink his legendary partnership? And what could possibly save their billion-dollar deal from crumbling? How did a kid from the streets of Madeira grow up to become a global icon worth hundreds of millions? And how did this partnership, once a dream come true, hit the rocks? Was it Ronaldo's soaring ambitions, Nike's corporate boundaries, or a classic standoff between two power players who simply wanted it all? When things turned sour, both sides had a choice: go for an all-out legal war or bring in a mediator for one last shot at a win-win deal. Who won this epic showdown of stars and corporations, and what lessons can we all learn from the resolution of this epic power play? Stick around, because we're breaking down the rise of Cristiano, the history of Nike, the standoff that shook their partnership, and the billion-dollar mediation that kept CR7's swoosh intact. Trust me, you'll want to watch to the end. Imagine a young kid with a wild passion for football, born in Madeira, Portugal. Little Cristiano Ronaldo didn't grow up with much, but he had the drive of a champion even as a child. His father, José Dini Severo, a groundskeeper with modest means, encouraged him in every way he could, while his mother, Maria Dolores dos Santos, worked hard to keep their family afloat. Cristiano trained obsessively, often sneaking out of his house just to practice. Fast forward a few years, and this Portuguese kid with a fire in his heart was scouted by Sporting Lisbon, where his insane skills on the pitch quickly turned heads. Soon, he was whisked away by Manchester United, and the world had a new soccer superstar on its hands. With goals galore and a name that echoed in stadiums, Ronaldo's career skyrocketed. Titles, records, accolades, he amassed them all, becoming an icon on and off the field. As his reputation exploded, brands were drawn to him like moths to a flame. But one brand stood out from the rest: Nike. Nike was already a sports giant by the time Ronaldo came into the spotlight. This wasn't just a brand that made sportswear, it was a global phenomenon. Nike had already signed legends like Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, and Tiger Woods. But in Cristiano Ronaldo, they saw an opportunity to capture the world's most popular sport through the world's most beloved player. Nike swooped in during Ronaldo's early days at Manchester United, signing him to an endorsement deal. They outfitted him head to toe, turning the humble CR7 nickname into a full-fledged brand. The swoosh and Ronaldo became inseparable. Nike's sleek, high-performance gear matched perfectly with Ronaldo's precision and passion on the field. For a time, everything was perfect. Cristiano and Nike were a match made in branding heaven. With every win, every viral moment, Ronaldo's star shined brighter, and so did the Nike logo. From boots to jerseys to entire collections, Nike's CR7 line became a top seller, drawing fans from every corner of the world. But as the years passed, something changed. Ronaldo was no longer the bright-eyed, starry kid from Madeira. He'd grown into a global icon with a business mind to match his athletic talents. And when it came time to renew his contract with Nike, Cristiano didn't just want another endorsement. He wanted control, autonomy, and a deal that would cement his brand in the Hall of Fame. As Ronaldo's Nike contract neared expiration, he and his team started drafting up their demands. And they were, in a word, ambitious. Ronaldo wasn't looking for an average contract. He wanted more control over his brand, a say in product design, creative freedom, and, of course, a larger paycheck that reflected his global influence. But Nike wasn't exactly thrilled. Sure, they wanted to keep CR7 in the family, but Ronaldo's requests were, let's say, a bit more involved. It's one thing to endorse a product, and another to ask for a stake in the creative and branding process. Nike executives weren't sure how to respond, and they felt the heat. Ronaldo's influence was massive, and if he walked away, they'd lose the most marketable athlete of the modern age. So the stage was set. Ronaldo and Nike each wanted more from the other, and neither was prepared to back down. The media buzzed with speculation, and fans took sides, fueling a global debate. It seemed like a classic case of too big to compromise. After weeks of tense back and forth, leaked contract demands, and public speculation, both sides decided it was time to cool down and get a third-party perspective. Instead of risking a bitter, drawn-out fight, Ronaldo and Nike agreed to mediation. And that's where the real magic began. A skilled mediator was brought in, someone with experience dealing with big personalities and bigger contracts. It was his job to sit down with Ronaldo's team and Nike's executives, listen to both sides, and ultimately help them see a common goal. Mediation is all about finding common ground. It allowed Ronaldo to express his vision for his brand and explain why he felt his influence was worth more than a simple endorsement. Meanwhile, Nike was able to clarify their concerns, that CR7 would still be a valuable part of their brand, but that creative control needed a balance. After hours of intense discussions, the mediator managed to broker a deal that worked for both sides. The solution was as strategic as it was simple. Ronaldo would get more creative input in his branded line, especially his CR7 sneakers and apparel, while Nike maintained overall brand direction. And of course, Ronaldo's new contract came with an extra stack of zeros to reflect his superstar status. For Ronaldo, it was a victory. He got a deal that acknowledged his brand's global power and let him influence his product line, something he'd been seeking for years. And for Nike, it was a reminder of the value of finding middle ground with their superstars. There's a big takeaway here, folks. In this high-stakes game of brand versus brand, mediation saved the day. It reminded us that the best negotiations aren't about winning or losing, but about listening and compromising. Cristiano got the creative input he craved. Nike kept their brand ambassador, and millions of fans around the world got to see their icon stay with his longtime brand. And when we zoom out, it's a lesson anyone can appreciate. Mediation isn't just for the billion-dollar deals. It's a tool that helps resolve conflicts of all sizes. Whether it's a boardroom battle or a family disagreement, sometimes the solution is just a bit of patience, compromise, and a good mediator. And that, my friends, is how mediation saved a billion-dollar relationship. If you're into stories like these, tales of resilience, negotiation, and powerful solutions, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and ring the notification bell. Here on Legends and Contracts, we bring you the most intriguing tales from the world of dispute resolution and beyond. Coming up next, Angelina Jolie versus the French winery. The bitter battle over a family empire. What happens when Hollywood's fiercest star clashes with one of France's most prized vineyards? In the aftermath of Angelina Jolie's high-profile split from Brad Pitt, a seemingly romantic family business turned into a battlefield of lawyers, late-night strategies, and negotiations. But here's the twist. How did a picturesque winery become the center of a legal storm? Why did this cherished estate hold so much value beyond its vines? And most importantly, what lengths did each side go to ensure they got their fair share? Buckle up as we uncork the juicy details behind the Jolie versus French winery showdown, where Hollywood glitz meets French vineyards in a clash like no other. You won't want to miss these incredible stories we have coming next. Subscribe and turn on your notification button.